StadiumDB.com presents 11 Camp Nou designs in 21st century. Ideas for a new Camp Nou were a lot. There was also a lot of waiting for decisions, permits and ultimately money. There are no fewer than 11 Camp Nou projects in the database on our website StadiumDB.com. In this video you will see them all, each with a capacity of 105,000 or 106,000 seats. Let's start in 2007 when a completion was held for the concept of a new stadium for FC Barcelona. We will move further and further forward from the oldest designs until we end with the chosen project. First Camp Nou design from 2007, Project Sana. The first on the list is Japanese simplicity and lightness. This project involved letting the light shine through and a striking promenade overlooking the city skyline. Second Camp Nou design from 2007, Project OAB Ferrater y Asociados. The Catalan studio has presented a vision to demolish the entire top level of the stands at the time. The new one would have a completely different shape, reminiscent of Emirates Stadium or Estadio da Luz in Lisbon. Third Camp Nou design from 2007, Project Estudi Martínez La Peña Torres. The structure of the stands would be covered with an independent canopy based on external columns. Thanks to the numerous and considerable spaces between them, the facility would be partially open to the surroundings and, at the same time, adequately ventilated. Fourth Camp Nou design from 2007, Project Claus en Kan Architecten. The Dutch vision was to create a mosaic on the facade and enclose the then existing stands in a compact, elliptical shape. The roof was to be a uniform, light-transmitting ring suspended slightly above the stands, and the stadium was to be connected to the new sports hall by a promenade and an underground car parks. Fifth Camp Nou design from 2007, Project Foster and Partners. It is certainly the most colorful Camp Nou of all those on the list of 11 projects. Besides, this concept was the one that won the competition in 2007. According to press reports, the project team later worked to further expand the future capacity of the stadium to around 116,000 seats. As you know, the British team's vision, which also designed Wembley Stadium, never came to fruition. Maybe it's for the best, because the stadium's shimmering multi-shade facade didn't really appeal to Blaugrana fans. Camp Nou design from 2014, Project FC Barcelona. The visualizations show the general outline of the concept that FC Barcelona had at the time. It has been announced that the final design may differ significantly from the visions suggested for the appearance of the arena. What remained unchanged were the objectives: to expand the stadium to 105,000 seats and to completely roof the stands. The main stand and the business area of the stadium were to be significantly expanded. Before we move on to the seventh project, we encourage you to subscribe to the channel and like the material. Thanks! First Camp Nou design from 2016, Project HKS Architects, COX Architects, Valle Heroic Arquitectes. The joint concept of several studios received high praise in the international competition, eventually qualifying for the finals. It was the only idea among the finalists for the competition that the new part of Camp Nou would be clearly cut off aesthetically from the existing stadium. The monumental stands for 99,000 spectators would be dominated by the towering form of western sectors and roof, creating an interesting optical impression. Second Camp Nou design from 2016, Project Populus, Mías Arquitectes, RCR Arquitectes. The facade proposed for the new Camp Nou was intended to create a striking mosaic during the day. By contrast, after dark the whole thing would become a living screen, without restricting ventilation inside. A roof made up of several rings was planned over the stands, with those closer to the center of the pitch being translucent to ensure adequate sunlight despite the huge size of the venue and the roof itself. Third Camp Nou design from 2016, Project IDOM, BIG, BAAS Architectes. The structure of the existing stands would be preserved and respected, even through the use of an indentation in the auditorium clearly indicating the existing stands at the time, which were 99,000 seats, and the new built stands on the west side of the pitch. A new staircase would be added to the existing stadium, which would become an aesthetic element in itself, winding around the perimeter of the stand structure, and a light facade would be superimposed on top of all this. Thanks to all these measures, looking at the stadium from the west, it would appear to be a straight vertical external wall. From the south or north it would be a trapezoid, and from any other perspective the shape would become irregular and look different. Fourth Camp Nou design from 2016. Project Ricardo Bofill Taller d'Arquitectura, Arup Associates. Inspired by Barcelona's architecture and the club's colors, the stadium would not be a closed block. Perhaps this design was the one that stood out the most from the rest. Instead of a compact facade, the team offered the use of ribbons in the colors of blue and red. An undulating stadium? It would certainly be a rarity on a global scale. The stadium would look spectacular from the outside, and there would also be a unique view from above, as terraces were planned from which the Barcelona skyline could be viewed. Fifth Camp Nou designs from 2016 to 2024. Project IDOM, B720, Niken Sekei, Pascual Ozio Architectes. The winning concept for the new Camp Nou is fundamentally different from that of the previous competition in 2007. The vision is characterized by spaciousness, simplicity and elegance, taking advantage of the stadium's Mediterranean location for natural ventilation and shade. A year later, several more visualizations were published that looked very similar to those of 2016. FC Barcelona's 2021 showed several renders featuring a much darker roof of the venue, but the most eye-catching were the visuals from inside the stadium. There, the 360-degree screen looked great. It was to be the showcase of the new Camp Nou. In photos released a year later, we could see an even darker roof and a different look for the panoramic screen. Elements of the stadium's interior were also shown, a bar area overlooking the city and other lounge spaces. Eventually, several visualizations were shown in March 2024, which differed from previous ones. The biggest change was the abandonment of the 360-degree screen in favor of separate screens. Club spokeswoman Elena Ford is of the opinion that such a video board would distract fans. Given Barcelona's erratic form in recent years, she was right. A panoramic screen could be more interesting. Joking aside, was this project the best FC Barcelona had to choose from? We leave the answer to you, so share your opinion in the comments. And now we are off to prepare more videos for you. See you there!